Amazing homes that are out of this world. Number 11. Hobbit House, Highland, Scotland. The weirdest thing about this fairy tale cabin is that it was not actually built in the homage to the famous Lord of the Rings house, despite its strange resemblance. Instead, owner Stuart Grant, a retired carpenter at 86, built the house in 1984, long before the films came out. Located on the outskirts of the town Tumik, the picturesque cabin occupies an idyllic setting in the woods, which includes a pond with a small wooden bridge in the garden. The exterior is covered with moss and ivy, giving the impression that it is slowly merging with the natural world. Inside is full of cozy details, from traditional tartan blankets to sheepskin and wooden beams. In addition, the house is decorated with unique furniture made from the experienced carpenter owner. The kitchen may be small, but every inch of space is used for storage. There are hanging plates, shelves, and cupboards in the corners, plus many neat decorations that adorn the window that overlooks the garden. Although he admits he is not a fan of Lord of the Rings, Grant receives some curious fans who come by the property and says he's happy to welcome visitors. If you could, would you buy the house and live like the modern-day Lord of the Rings? Let me know in the comments. Number 10. Reversible Destiny Lofts, Mitaka, Japan. This impressive complex of colorful balloon apartments has been designed by architects Arakawa and Madeline Gins. The unusual name comes from their philosophy of creating buildings that stimulate the senses in order to prolong life through architectural design. The complex is currently used as residential and public space and hosts various cultural and educational events. Inside, the decoration creates a multi-sensory experience with tactile surfaces, vibrant colors, and strangely shaped rooms to keep residents alert. Inside, you almost don't see a flat surface. The kitchen countertops curl around a central pillar, the floors are covered with a series of bumps, and even the bathroom is contained in its own tiny capsule. Whether you think it would be an exciting place to live in and attack your senses on a daily basis, you cannot deny that the reversible Destiny Lofts are unique in nature and have become quite an attraction in the local area. Number 9. Falcons Nest, Arizona, USA. Many people dream of living surrounded by panoramic views, and the Falcons Nest makes that dream come true. Situated on the slopes of the pedestrian walkway known as Thumb Butte near Preston Center in Yavapai County, it offers a stunning 360-degree view of the valley with visibility extending up to 120 miles. Built by architect Phoenix Sukumar Pal in 1994 for his own family, the unusual property is currently the tallest single-family home in America with 10 floors in total. The living areas are concentrated in the upper levels of light, while the bedrooms and bathrooms are below. The attractive kitchen and dining area feature impressively symmetrical architecture with bright countertops, 2 dining tables, and elegant appliances that allow unusual space to shine. The double bed that is situated on the top of the building is ideally prepared for stargazing at night and watching the clouds during the day. In addition, when you need privacy, there are curtains that you can use to block out the light and the prying eyes. The impressive architectural house was placed on the market in 2017 for $1.5 million, though it was later sold for only $755,000. That's a bargain. Come on guys, what's not to love about this house? Number 8. Capitol Hill Residence, Moscow, Russia. If you were a Russian billionaire, why not make your home look like a giant spacecraft? For Vladislav Doronin, who once was going out with supermodel Naomi Campbell, this was the obvious path. So he commissioned the late architect Zaha Hadid to design the 72-foot-tall private residence. The main idea of Capitol Hill Residence came after the initial conversation between the designer Doronin when Doronin said that he wants to wake up and see nothing less than a clear blue sky. To which Hadid replied that somehow Doronin's bed had to be situated above the trees. This might sound like a problem to you, but when you can just throw money at a problem until it goes away, it certainly isn't such a big deal. The house, which was completed in 2018 after more than 10 years of construction, has a lower stretch that merges with the sloping landscape and an upper stretch that allows Doronin to contemplate the nearby forest outside Moscow. Inside, it's like you're visiting the Jetsons, with a chimney hanging organically from the curved roof and a series of metal orb sculptures. On top of that, the decor remains minimalistic to keep the focus on the architecture and the stunning views that the house provides. Although it looks like it's from another planet, the house does not lack luxury. It has a 65-meter pool, spa, gym, Japanese garden, and a nightclub. There is a good reason why Hadid referred to the businessman as the Russian James Bond. I wouldn't be surprised if in an emergency situation, the house could simply fly away to safety. Just look at it. If I've ever seen a spaceship, it might as well look like this. And now for number 7. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on more videos like these. Number 7. Fusterlandia, Havana, Cuba. When it comes to strange homes, this bold and beautiful creation in Havana is more than adequate. The extensive property adorned with sculptures is, naturally, the home of artist and sculptor Jose Fuster, from where he had the residence is named. Not surprisingly, a lot of people look at the property as Cuba's response to Gaudi. The mosaic structures resemble the sophisticated style of the Spanish architect, mixed with Picasso's influences. Strange motifs include an eye, a giant banana, and a mermaid. Around the outdoor pool are hordes of whimsical paintings and mosaics representing the Cubist faces, sea creatures and fish that come to life in a variety of colors. There are no unpainted tiles in this maximalist house. However, the artist's inspiration is not limited to the boundaries of his property. He has decorated a range of public spaces, including bus stops, doctor's office, and banks, placing his unique stamp on the neighborhood. Looking at this house, it is not surprising why tourists swarm the house in flocks just to take a picture. The artist offers free tours of Fusterland, although the local economy benefits from the influx of visitors, which means that Fuster has had a very positive impact. Number 6. Freedom Cove, British Columbia, Canada. Living off the grid does not mean that the couple, Wayne Adams and Catherine King, wanted to keep their home discreet. Freedom Cove, a floating residence located near Tofino, an area on Vancouver Island, Canada's west coast, is painted in bright magenta and green. The couple in question began building their unusual house in 1991, using some wood that they had collected from trees that had fallen due to a recent storm. The floating island of 15 platforms continues to expand, and the couple uses predominantly collected and reusable and sustainable materials. Despite their remote location, Wayne and Catherine have everything they need and more. There are 4 greenhouses, a guest house, gardens, an art workshop, and even a dance floor among the wide range of Freedom Cove facilities. The couple enjoys living off the grid, and most of the food they eat is grown on the island or caught in the close waters. They go to the continent every 2 weeks to get essential commodities, but otherwise are self-sufficient. If you are interested in learning more about this unusual house, the doors of the home in Freedom Cove are open to visitors during the summer months, allowing tourists to come and visit, understand, and appreciate the lifestyle that the couple chose. Number 5. The Heliotrope, Freiburg, Germany. When local authorities considered building a nuclear power plant near his home, Rolf Disch decided that he is not going to roll over and just let them. After campaigning against the plant, he began looking for solar energy, and thus the Heliotrope residence was born, a rotating solar-powered home. The 48-foot tall structure was built 25 years ago and is currently occupied by Rolf and his wife. It is named after heliotropic plants that turn to the sun as the building rotates 180 degrees throughout the day to provide the maximum amount of solar energy. In this way, it became the first home in the world to produce more energy than it uses. The building has an insulated metal side and a glazed side. On the hot days, the insulated side faces the sun to keep the house cool, while on cold days, the glass walls turn to the sun for warmth. The interior sun baths, due to the open-plan living room and kitchen area, the discreet decoration allows the beauty of the architecture to shine, nowhere more than at the specially equipped kitchen designed to follow the circular shape of the home. In addition to the photovoltaic rooftop solar panels that generate electricity, the balusters on the balconies have vacuum tubes that provide hot water and heating, and the rotating design means that the views change every day. Who wouldn't want to live in a place like this? Number 4. The Flipstone House, California, USA. Want to see another strange property? I'm betting that you yabba dabba do! This strange Flintstone house, named like that because it looks like the Stone Age house of Fred and Wilma in the popular cartoon, was built in 1977 and was designed by the architect William Nicholson. This extravagant property came to life in bright purple and red, with the structure formed by several adjacent balloon shapes. It is made of wire and concrete, a type of concrete sprayed through a hose, that form the spherical shapes that give the house its unusual look. It is surprisingly minimalistic inside. The walls are whitewashed and there is a simple color palette of red, oranges, and browns that emphasize everything. Some extravagant touches, which include Flintstone motifs, dolls, and naive-style modern art, connect the interior space to the Flintstone theme. Curved walls are usually the nightmare of an interior designer as they are very difficult to work with, but in this house, round shelves and public surface spaces are carved into the cave-like walls to provide the unusual storage space. The effect? Star Trek meets the Flintstones. The house was placed on the market in 2015 for $4.2 million, although it was not purchased until 2017 for a much lower price of $2.8 million. It was bought by a media tycoon, Florence Fang, who admitted to having his eye on it for a couple years. Number 3. Tree Wow Resort, Beijing, China. If living in a treehouse is your dream, this unusual wooden house might just be the thing for you. The building stands on stilts with a circular and corrugated roof, and although not actually built around a tree, the style of the house makes architects refer to it as such. Designed by architects from Monarchy, the holiday home is located in the banks of the stream that sits between the mountains of the rural village Jungkun. When viewed from above, it looks like three displaced circles. The first, an outside balcony area, the second, a guest house, and the third, a central sun hatch that creates surprisingly different views as you move through the insides of the marvelous construction. Inside, the bedroom is kept minimalistic, allowing bamboo walls and impressive architecture to be the center of attention. The sloping roof is positioned so that the rooms have more privacy, while the living space is situated in a way that absorbs the nature of the vicinity. Craftsmen who live and work in the area use local wood to create the structure, which helps it feel like part of the landscape, despite its surprisingly unusual design. Number 2. Bat Casa, San Miguel, Mexico. St. Miguel's Dark Knight himself, Steve Rude, lives in the bat house that he built himself, a two-story house with the iconic Batman symbol. The design of the house is Rude's creation, and he used expanding structures and organic forms to create a truly unique house that became a local landmark. Rude is a set designer for big film productions who used his 3D modeling skills to create the organic shapes throughout the house. He then worked with a team of specialist builders who brought his project to life, thanks to some help from the plastic pipes, wire mesh, and concrete. Inside, the roomy structures create a unique space that is influenced by Gaudi and futuristic designer H.R. Giger. If you have seen the movie Alien, then you have an idea of what the art of H.R. Giger is like. Perhaps one of the craziest features is the staircase, which is designed to resemble the vertebrae of the spine. Meanwhile, the bathroom presents, what else? A set of ghostly skeletal hands attached to the walls like hooks. The open-plan living room and the kitchen area are a mix of design influences from Gaudi-style white veins to a giant surreal pair of red lips mounted on the wall that take a lot of Salvador Dali. Meanwhile, one of the rooms called the Bat's Nest looks quite cozy, nestled in the cavernous space with irregular globular windows to look out over San Miguel. This is one of the most unusual houses I have ever seen. If you are curious about it and want to live in it for a couple of nights, Rude placed the house on Airbnb, and you can have a sleepover for the reasonable price of $180 per night, which is a great price for such a crazy-looking house. Number 1. Dr. Seuss House, Talkeetna, Alaska. Visitors of Alaska may be surprised to see this impressive cartoon house on the horizon, although it appears to have been taken directly from a Dr. Seuss book. The 185-foot, 12-story tower was not built in tribute to any of the extravagant illustrations in the books. The former owner, Philip Wiedner, wanted to increase the height of his cabin so he could see the nearby Denali Mountain. He continued to add layers until he was able to have a clear view through the trees, thus reaching such impressive heights. Philip died more than 15 years ago, and since then, the house remains unfinished. It was recently acquired by another buyer who intends to continue working on the house. Until then, it remains an unusual cornerstone and a curiosity trait for many. If you are interested in seeing the house for yourself, the best way to get a view is to take the Alaska Railroad through Talkeetna, or you can see it from the road if you prefer to travel by car. Some intrepid fans even approach the house to take pictures, although technically it is privately owned. Thanks for watching. Which of these would you like to own and why? What would you build for yourself if you had an unlimited amount of money? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time.